Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Three Questions With. I'm very excited this week to be joined by Matt Drage, who is the Global Comms and Marketing Director at Inca Centres. So thanks for joining us.
Hey, James. Thanks so much. I've been looking forward to this conversation for a little while. You and I talked about it, and we finally managed to make your diary align, my diary, and this is great.
Yeah. It's nice to say looking forward. Do I believe that? I don't know. But
No, it's true. I always love our conversations. Yeah, always.
Well, then let's go straight into it, shall we? So that awful first question at a cocktail party or a networking event. So what is it you do?
It's a brilliant question, isn't it? So how would I describe it? Look, I have the privilege, really is a privilege, to lead the communication and marketing function for Inca Centres. Now, Inca Centres is part of Inca Group, which also contains IKEA Retail, and Inca Investments.
Yeah.
And we own and operate 35 shopping centres, or as we call them, meeting places, across the world, all anchored by IKEA. We have 320 million visitors coming through the doors every year. We have millions of loyalty members, and we work with 2,500 other brands as well. So it's a really cool business. And I'm part of the executive team. I lead a team of nearly 30 really talented communication and marketing professionals across the world. And I also have matrix leadership responsibility for about another 60 working directly in our meeting places as well. So what do we do? What do I do? Our job is firstly to get visitors, so people and shoppers, to know about, to come to and come back to our meeting places, and really to spend time and money with our partners in there. But it's also to get those partners in front of those people, using all our channels to help them increase their own sales and brand love. And also then about attracting more of those partners to come and take space in our shopping centres. But then as well, it's also about working directly with the communities around us. You know, shopping centres are vital parts of their communities, and we have many stakeholders, and we want to really ensure our meeting places stay part of the local communities and build long-term trust. And then it's also about engaging the 1,000 brilliant people who work across Inca Centres as well, and the tens of thousands that work across the Inca Group. So I have this amazingly broad role, and the fun stuff is really in the how, how do you do it? And I get the privilege to steer the direction, get involved across all the channels and the plans, and work with brilliant people as well.
And you've also done that thing that I guess not a huge number of comms leaders get to do or necessarily always want to do, and taken on the marketing piece and that wider bit within the function. And I know that is always an interesting challenge, an interesting thing to be thinking about doing. How did you feel about doing that? How do you feel about now having that oversight of that whole piece?
Never the twain shall meet sometimes, I think.
Rightly or wrongly.
No, well, absolutely. And I mean, I think different things work for different setups work for different businesses and organizations. For us, and for me, it felt really right. I mean, I have a personal view that most real people do not see communication, and they don't see marketing. What they see is, a brand, a story, a channel, and then what they do depends on the role that they're playing at any one point. So today I'm a buyer, or today I'm a dad looking for somewhere to go with my 3 kids, or whatever it is, or tomorrow I'm looking for a new job, or whatever that role that you're playing is. That's how you engage with the information. So comms and marketing in that sense share the same objective, use the same sorts of channels. So it really makes sense for them to be together. So I've loved every minute. It's been scary at points. There's so much you have to say, I don't know, but you as a brilliant team member can teach me and help me understand. So it's been a brilliant ride.
Well, I think refreshing to see not comms leading, but a comms person take a leadership role of marketing, rather than you often see it the other way around. And I think they both have their nuances, but I've always felt comms people are great chameleons, great adapters, very good at kind of knowing what they don't know, right? And so that feels like that is a strength if you're going to lead a multifunctional function.
Yeah, I mean, we're stepping into the age-old politics of comms and marketing here, aren't we? And who has the bigger budgets and all of that. But no, I think comms people are adaptable, but so are marketing people.
Sure.
And actually, I think there is we have to basically break down these walls. Actually, it doesn't matter whether you have separate functions. What you have to do is break down the walls that exist and say, we ultimately serve the same sorts of purpose. We just bring different skill sets to the table. And actually, we bring different focuses sometimes. But I think comms marketing are the sort of favoured cousins, favoured siblings of each other.
Yeah.
And I think both have real strengths.
Thank you for that. I know I'm trying to push you into the politics a bit, and I didn't. I'll back off, but no, that's really interesting, and I can see why you've been there for 5 years now, isn't it? So it's you've taken on a lot in that time. So, if looking back over the course of your career, is there a singular or specific piece of advice you'd want to give your more junior self?
There's probably lots. I'm going to cheat and give two. Actually, I think the first is one that's hard to come by, but I've learned more and more. It's be the one that thinks differently and holistically, that asks more questions and adds a new perspective. I think it's really easy early on in one's career to sort of drink the Kool-Aid of organizational fitting in, of likability, of, worrying about career progression, etc. But actually, that ability to be curious, to bring a perspective that someone else hasn't, to look at all of the implications from a total business perspective, or give advice that people don't necessarily want to hear. I think that's super important. And actually it gets more so the kind of more you progress in your career as well, which then probably leads to my second piece of advice, which comes courtesy of Dumbledore in the Harry Potter series. And that's really, if you're holding out for universal popularity, you'll be waiting in this cabin for a very long time. And I think this is so important. Not every decision you will or can make will be popular, but if you're making it with the right intent, have considered things in the round and believe it's the right one, then hold on to your convictions.
Two great pieces of advice, and both kind of connect as well, in that sense of it's very easy to be a yes person. Very easy to just nod along and go with the crowd, but you don't tend to change things from that standpoint. And I think that idea of recognizing that you don't need everyone to like you is something that hopefully everyone comes to at some point, but actually we do it at different degrees of I know my weaknesses in my career is wanting to be liked by everyone, and it's only when you kind of realize that that isn't a desirable thing. It's more about being effective. But it doesn't mean you can't treat people well, but
absolutely
treating
you treat with kindness,
different things. Yeah,
exactly. And you can be kind but still make decisions which people, which aren't popular, but they are made with the right intent for the right reasons and for the overall good of both people and business as well. So I think, that it's something that's hard to learn. It's hard to take sometimes, but it's a really important lesson.
When you can't manage a team of 30 effectively if you're not being honest with them about certain aspects of performance, and you're not helping them improve and challenge themselves.
Yeah, but again, it comes back to what your intent is. So if your intent is to enable people to thrive and enable people to improve and empower them to deliver, then sometimes that means saying things which they don't necessarily want to hear. You don't necessarily want to say it either, but you have to be able to say it, and you have to be able to say it with the right intent. If you can create an environment as a leader where you can be honest and say things, but people know that it's made with the right intent to support and improve, then I think you've got the really great basis of a great team and a great team environment. If you're saying it and playing politics, then that's a different question.
Yeah, intent. It's a nice one, that. Brilliant, thank you. So the real dreaded question then, if you weren't in the world of comms and marketing, what would you be doing? What would you want to be?
I think you and I have had many conversations about this. You probably know the answer to this.
Yeah, I'd be disappointed if it's anything different.
You know what? I really genuinely love what I do. I went through many years actually through life, all through being a child and a teenager, saying, I'm going to be a lawyer. And I got to the point of even applying for training contracts, and it got to the question, why do you want to be a lawyer? And I couldn't answer the question. And so I sort of went back into what it was that I'd loved doing. And at the time I had, founded a football club, and I kind of set up, and I really loved that promotion and the selling side. So I went into comms and marketing, and like you said, I've never looked back. I love what I do. But if I wasn't doing this, I also absolutely love musical theatre, watching, listening, and performing as well. So if I wasn't already doing what I love, I would love to be an actor. I would probably be a struggling one, but I would, that's what I would be doing.
Best kind. And as we know, you're still occasionally treading the boards, right?
Very, very, yeah. Occasionally I do. And you know what? I love doing it, and one of the reasons is it becomes a real switch off. So so many of us work so intensely doing the things that we really enjoy, but it's intense, and you need to find ways for yourself to also switch off. Some do triathlons. I tend to go and sing and rehearse. And for me, it's a switch off. I'm not on my phone. I'm present in the room. I'm doing something totally different. And actually, that gives me the space afterwards to think as well. I think there's also so much you can learn from the acting side of being part of a team, being part of a team that creatively collaborates. I think there's so much you can learn from that also into comms and marketing as well. So that's why I love doing it.
Well, and I think it's a switch off, but it's not a switch off in the way that running's a switch off or going to the gym's a switch off, because it's actually switching on that kind of creative side, right? And creative juices. And that's such a valuable thing to be able to keep hold of. Like it's not until, like for me, it was not until we had kids that I realized how much my creativity had just ebbed away with work. And how like suddenly you're trying to come up with scenarios and games for them to play, and you realize I've got nothing here. I need some sort of outlet. And actually, being creative is massively impactful and valuable, and in all sorts of ways in your life. I would imagine it probably has a big impact.
I think so, but the creativity is so different for different people. Like I've seen some people who are the most amazingly creative with spreadsheets, right? Which you wouldn't necessarily talk as a creative task, but actually it really is. And I have so much respect for that. And then at the same time, how you bring play and how you create games and how you create stories, that's a totally different part. But all of that creativity, I think people need to find ways to bring out their playfulness and their creativity. I think it really brings energy. It really brings different perspectives. Creativity is such an important part of what we do in comms and marketing as well, but there's different approaches to that.
Definitely, that play thing's interesting, because we do just gather. You think about the things that you gather around outside of work, and it is always play, whether that's the arts in one way, shape, or form, whether that's or whether that whether it's going to the movies or going to the ballet, or not if you're Timothy Chalamet, I guess, but it's that element of play, I think, is something that matters to everyone in one way, shape, or form in all walks of life.
It does, and this is an area actually in Consensus where this is not a bridge. This was not a pre-planned bridge, by the way. But in Consensus, we're actually really, really interested in this. So sort of like watch this space a little bit, because there is so much research showing the value and the importance of play into people's lives. But also into, I guess, how you engage people as well. If you think about it, like you talked about your kids, and that I have as well, and you think about actually how they learn now, and the gamification of maths, of languages, of things, it's so important. It's a different. It pulls on a different muscle, I guess.
Yeah, fascinating. Thank you for that. I look forward to the link to come and see you perform some.
I expect to see you front row, James.
Well, thank you. It's interesting. We've had 3 or 4 in the last few weeks who have some sort of creative outlet outside of their work life, and it's, I suppose, in some ways no surprise to hear that from people in the world of comms, but also it's, I think, nice to hear, because I think it's very easy to get bogged down in life and work and forget that having some sort of creative outlet for yourself is a positive thing as well.
100%. I think the more I've worked, and the more I've embraced the life of family and kids around, right? You need to find those outlets for yourself
100%.
as well. And for me, it's something creative. It's something that you build. It's something that you do. For others, it's like I say, it's running, but it's also going out and building or creating something.
Yeah,
whatever it is, find yours, create the time, create the space to do it, because I think it will make you a better person, a better leader as well.
Thank you. That was 3 very interesting answers. I'm sure that people will enjoy listening to that, and I suspect you're going to sell out now.